Hello there, my crypto bit brothers and sisters. How in the heck are you? And Papa Ron, how you doing, brother?
Rod, I am always good. Well, not always, but I'm good. Very good.
Yeah, you are. You're always
It
good.
depends if
When
I
you get
have
on this
children
video,
and
everything's good.
grandkids tearing through the house and messing everything up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm one of them guys. Even my sock drawer is organized. I mean, I'm not over fanatic, but I shouldn't say that. I like having the kids and grandkids here, and they can tear it up. I just straighten it all out when they're gone. Anyway,
Well, sure, that's a part of it, isn't it? That's part of being grandpops. You see, you
yeah,
take them for a little while, and you shove them back off for a week or
that's
two.
right. Well, Raj, I want to start this today with some comments that you had made 2 or 3, 4 videos back about prepare for the worst.
Oh yeah.
And why I wanted to start with that, I don't know. Because things are very
Right over.
positive right now, and that's what we want to get into, how these things are really transpiring. But preparing for the worst, I mean, this could go either way, like we said in yesterday's video, that the whole carpet could be yanked out from underneath our feet at any time if governments decide to actually clamp down and regulate and get rid of and so. But I think they're all on board at this point. If they have an alternative motive, we might not know about that yet. But I do have one article, Rod.
I like to say that things are on sale as far as the market goes.
Oh,
Market cap.
yeah,
We
they are
got
down, aren't they?
Litecoin's only 135 bucks.
Is it really? I haven't even looked.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and Bitcoin is 8,400.
And see, and I
Yeah.
made the comment a week or two ago. I said, I'm not sure this thing will ever go below 9,000 again.
Let's see. Let's see. How many words can you eat on that one?
Yeah, it just shows you, folks. I don't know a blasted thing. We're just shooting off the hip on this stuff.
Never say never on dead gun Bitcoin, man.
Yeah.
I doubt it'll ever go up past 10.
Well, now I'll bet you on that. I'll bet you that sliver of Bitcoin you got if you're willing to risk it.
Well, it's just a sliver.
Goldman Sachs fined again 110 million for improperly rigging the FX market.
What?
Rigging.
They may
Corruptness.
be fined 110 million. I wonder if they made a billion off that rigging it.
Very,
So,
very well could have.
so their fine ain't nothing.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. And what gets me about that too, Rod,
Yeah.
when these big banks are fined and big companies, who gets that money?
I
You
don't know.
know? Well, in the article it says here that half of it, 54 million of it, goes to the New York financial regulator. So some obscure office that regulates this stuff, he's getting 54 million. And do they have a guide to say how much to fine these guys based on this transaction or this corruption? Where they
They
just
don't
pull a
even
figure
they
out
don't
of the
even
air?
know they don't even know how much they probably made on it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Uh,
and to sit there and say that Bitcoin is a fraud and these bankers, man, they're messing with everything. And that's what brings me to the concern about crypto. They're all getting into this and government so heavily, it just makes you what the final outcome might be based on what they're scheming in the background, you
oh yeah.
know. These guys don't act, they don't shoot off the hip, man. They have a plan intact and they kind of know where they're headed, I would think. But listen, the title of this is that are we headed for a major financial transition? And we've kind of talked about that. And folks, my nose isn't running. It's just got something there that's bugging me. Maybe I got a little bit of allergies right now. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Just don't let it happen again. Just
I'm going
like
to try
me
to
coughing.
behave. I'm going to try to behave. Okay, here's a couple positive things going on. And then we want to throw our 2 cents in on it.
Okay.
Billionaire Bitcoin bull partners with Bloomberg to launch a cryptocurrency index platform.
Yes.
Now, that is very positive about taking this stuff mainstream, or at least to the regular financiers, the guys that dabble on the stocks and play the stock market game, and all those brokers that handle people's money. All of a sudden, you're now going to have an index on Bloomberg that tells you the top 10 cryptos probably and what they're rated at in their index. So this is another step towards mainstreaming this for the big money guys. I think it's positive. I think it brings it more into the mainstream. But the negative again is we're putting things in place to benefit the guys that have been corrupt all along anyway. And
well, the guy who has the money, who wants to make more money.
Yeah.
It seems like, I don't know. You know, and I do not hold any grudge for anybody making a lot of money, as long as it's done honestly, you know? I don't want it to be done.
Well, yeah, but that's the kind of the key, Rod. I mean, not the key, but we know that this stuff's all funny money. It's not on a even keel playing field. It's not fair, and that's what was exciting months ago about the crypto. It's a fair market. Nobody's dabbling in it. It's just if it goes up, it's because people are buying it and stuff. If it comes down. But now every little tremor in the news media, they say affects crypto. Oh, it's going up because so-and-so said this. It just, I don't know. Did I cut you off on that? I'm sorry if I did.
No. I was just shaking my head. I know it just, and it was so decentralized when we first started. And now it seems like it's getting more and more sucked up in this damn.
Well, they see the money to be made in it, and they're not, they've been playing both sides of it. They've been on the news and mainstream and everywhere saying how crooked and corrupt it is, but behind the scenes, they're buying into it like crazy.
Yeah, they are.
Which, again, is another form of manipulation to me. They're dropping the price to buy in, letting us idiots take it up for them. And So anyway, here's another real thing about the mainstream we're just talking about. New York Stock Exchange, and you've already heard this on the news, I'm sure. But what's cool about this, the one thing I do agree is that when people are trading this on the stock exchange, it'll actually be physically delivered in Bitcoin when the day is done. Now, I have never dabbled in stocks. Rod, have you?
No.
So I don't know how those settlements take, if you can leave your funds in there and roll it into the next day. I don't know. But this article
I think you can. I've had some friends that was in stocks, and but I never did get into it. That's something never been my cup of tea.
Well, now, if I compare this to like the Chicago Mercantile Exchange that started trading futures on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
See, they settle up in fiat. They settle up in U.S. dollars. So you can get on there and dabble with as many Bitcoins as you want, as long as you got the U.S. dollars to back it. So it's not a true market to me. So this is. Let me see if you can follow my philosophy here. Okay. So the New York Stock Exchange say, hey, we're settling up at the end of the day in Bitcoin. Great. So if I want to play with 10 Bitcoin, at the end of the day, I take possession of whatever Bitcoin I've either made or lost, and that's it. But on the Chicago Mercantile, I can get on there if I have enough money and say, hey, I want to play with 10,000 Bitcoin today, maybe 20,000, and I can use that to move the market, to manipulate it, to change the price, because I know at the end of the day, I don't have to have 20,000 Bitcoin. I just have to have enough fiat dollars to cover that.
So whatever you made.
So see, there's a difference.
Whatever you lost. Yeah.
So the New York Stock Exchange, I kind of like that they settle up in Bitcoin when the day is done. See, it says the fact that these contracts would be settled with the delivery of Bitcoin itself is an important factor in Bitcoin's mainstream adoption. Yeah. Again, we're talking about big financiers, folks, that get on the New York Stock Exchange and dabble in stuff, and now they're going to be able to dabble in Bitcoin. Currently being offered, okay, here's this Chicago thing. They're settled in fiat. Now here's a quote by Wall Street Crypto. Kelly explained, the physical delivery of Bitcoin means that ICE, now ICE is the owner of the New York Stock Exchange, has a custody solution. Custody meaning you're going to have custody of those Bitcoins. That has been a big hurdle. How do you hold onto these assets? These are generally bearer instruments, and so you have to have a third-party custody person. That's a big deal. They have come up with a custody solution for institutional holders. So, and we know institutional folks, it's the big boys playing the game.
Yeah.
And it says this would open the floodgates to institutional capital. It would open the door for pensions and endowments also to dabble in crypto. And we know
wow.
pensions are huge. Anyway, that's a whole nother story if we get into pensions. But they're putting this, again, mainstream for these institutional buyers and sellers, the people with the big money that can come in and buy enough Bitcoin to actually move the market. So again, I still don't know how I feel about all this. I still am cautious about all these positive things that are happening to adopt Bitcoin into the mainstream. And maybe I'm overcautious. I don't know. What do you think, Rod?
Well, I just personally don't like it. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. I don't like anything going on in the stock market because with what happens when these whalers get in, well, to me it will make it more available to the whalers, because just like that last article from the stock exchange, it said where you read for the institutional users. Well, we're not institutional users. We're just the lowly Joe Blow guy here that wants to make some money just to be a millionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire. Well, when I was younger, I probably did, but now I just want to be a millionaire. But there ain't no way for me to even be that if these whalers get in there. And what scares me more than anything, Ron, is that these guys will start manipulating, and that's what worries me about the market exchange today. Yesterday it was at 93. Today it's at 84. Now what's going on there? Somebody sold a lot of Bitcoin in order to bring that price down.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying. We're a little cautious about.
And we are cautious, and I'm to the point though where I just don't like the crap anymore. The way it's fluctuating.
Hold on, let me make a point on that.
Okay, make a point.
I agree that it's becoming mainstream, which is good. We need more mass adoption into it. We just have to be.
I don't want it to be.
You wanted a true free market. You don't want it to be corrupt, manipulated, or anything. And that's what scares me about all this adoption into the big finance playing board. But I don't know how you stop that. But here's the point I want to make about what you said, that you might be getting a little tired of. Folks, those of you who listen to these videos on YouTube and are reading and studying, we're into this stuff at a good time. Let these big boys take this stuff up, because we're sitting tight on it. And it's going to, just like we said the other day, they're not in this to make 10% on their money. They're in to make 3 or 4 times, maybe 10 times on their investments. So let them ratchet it up. We just got to know when to pay the house off or whatever we're going to do with it. So we're definitely in at a good time on this.
Well,
Right.
I'm going to be devil's advocate here, okay? When we got into it, Ron, it was pretty freaking cheap. I thought it was high. Now I think it's absorbently high. But when you get into like Bitcoin, they're buying for what, $20, $25 a coin, and then, or not Bitcoin, but Litecoin. I think was even, I can't remember how cheap it was. It was $10 or so, $20. Anyway, and Bitcoin I think was $1,000. And what I'm getting at here is that we know what the whalers did with silver and gold. They've held the prices down, and I'm wondering if they're going to do the same thing with this Bitcoin, with these cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it's
That's my
different.
question.
It's different on the gold and silver because that actually fights against the fiat currency. And so by keeping gold and silver down, it keeps people using the fiat and not putting their money into the precious metals. So that's a good cause to keep that down because their whole manipulation takes precedence in the fiat world, not the precious metals world. So if gold and silver they kept rising up, people are going to leave their savings accounts and put it into gold. But by keeping it down, the people will keep their money in their playing field, their fiat world. Crypto, on the other hand, by keeping it down, gives them an opportunity to buy. But sooner or later, they're going to want the crypto to go up because they want to make 10 times on their money or whatever it is. Gold, on the other hand, Rod, I just had another thought on that and it just slipped me. So anyway, no, I think it's difference. There's a difference there between metals and crypto. By having the crypto down,
But yeah, I agree to that. But still, the manipulation part is still the same. What they do,
right?
they buy it high. I mean, they'll buy it low. They want to force it down, and then when it does go up, then they'll sell. I mean, they buy it, they let it go up, they sell, and it goes down like now. It's just, I don't know.
It's definitely going
I'm
to
real
go up higher.
skeptical. I'm real skeptic. Well, you know what I
Skeptical.
mean.
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean. I know, and it is hard to say at this point where it's all going, folks. We'd like your comments. Let us know what you're thinking.
I get frustrated sometimes when I see the prices go up, and then all of a sudden they're down in a day $1,000. I guess the problem is as a hodler, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm not selling and buying enough in order to get it done. Maybe I'm just not doing it right.
No, I
You see
think
what
you're
I'm
doing it
saying?
just right. I think we want to hodl and let them dick around with the markets as much as they want on it. They're going to drop the price either to get in more or to take profits from the top, get it down. They rebuy in. But sooner or later, when there's more and more people into this, Rod, it's going up. So you just keep hodling, baby. It'll work out. It'll
Oh, I'm
work
gonna
out
hodl. That's just
just
my name.
fine. A couple other quick things, folks, to show you where this is headed mainstream and worldwide, and we'll probably be able on. Aui,
Owie,
Howie,
that's how you say it. Yep.
they're one of
Oway,
the Aue.
Oway.
They're one of the biggest technology handset, cell phone type people in the world.
Number 3.
And on their phones now, they're putting a Bitcoin wallet. It's automatically installed right in there
Oh, look at
in that
that.
app store. And the older versions that don't have it, they're going to make it available to them. So this is
See,
huge.
it's getting into mainstream right there through the phone.
That's right. That's right. And those that don't think this is going anywhere, it is, folks. This is going to take over all this stuff. The banks are just struggling to figure out how to keep control because this is where they've been the whole time. The central banks have been controlling everything. They're losing that, so now they're trying to get involved and figure out how can we do this? How can we stay top dogs on it?
Yeah.
Here's over in Ukraine. Ukraine's securities chairman wants to legalize 10 different cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Here's another government. And then I just read too, Rod, that what country was it? They want to follow Venezuela, and they're going to make their own digital coin.
Oh.
Didn't we have something on that?
I can't remember. But I do remember something about that, but I don't remember where.
Well, these countries that do it, they wanted to do a digital currency for their country, and it's going to be printed, and all the banks are going to come up with it. And it's like I said before, they just don't get it. The whole reason of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency is to free us from those centralized systems. So just coming up with a digital currency, that's not what this is about. We already have Visa cards. We want to get away from you bankers and stuff. We want a free market to control our own destiny in trading of value with each other, not to be controlled in how we can send it and how much we can send. And anyway, so
none of the bankers.
Yeah. Folks, we had some other things, but we've probably gone on too long. But this has been a good conversation, Rod. We just need to keep our wits about us, pay attention to what's going on in the market. And back to you, brother.
Well, folks, we sure appreciate y'all visiting with us. We love to visit with you, too. And Ron and I get to talking like this. And Ron brings me up, and hopefully I bring him up sometimes, and things are good. We still live in a wonderful country. There's a lot of stuff wrong, but let me tell you something. There's more right here than there is wrong. Just remember one thing: never reelect anybody, and God loves you.